Good afternoon. Good afternoon, students. In yesterday, we are discussing what the different fundamental characters which are common in various organisms, in spite of their different structures and different forms of animals. Okay, we have studied the basic fundamental characters which are common in various organisms. What are those? Last in previous class we have discussed about what are those. Level of organization we have discussed. After that we have discussed about the symmetry. After that we have discussed about the coelom. And today we are going to discuss about what segmentation and metabolism, and next and last notochord. Okay, so what I told you in clear cut ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ that time we are going to see the difference between the organisms and out of the ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಒಂದೇನು ಬಾಡಿ ಅಥವಾ ಅದರ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ organism how they are going to form in the sense what I told you. The organisms, in spite of their difference in a structure and forms of a different animals ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ವಿಭಿನ್ನತೆ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಲ್ಲೇನಾಗಿರ್ತಿಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ವಿಭಿನ್ನತೆ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ದಾಗ ಅಥವಾ ಇವನ್ ಜೀವಿಗಳದಾಗ ಒಂದು ಥೋಡೆ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಸಾಮ್ಯ ಅವು ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತಾವೆ. ಅವು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಸಾಮ್ಯ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ yesterday I told you about the some fundamental common characters which are found in various organisms ಅಥವಾ various individuals ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಾನು what are those ಅಂತಂದಾಗ I told you level of organization, symmetry, coelom, and today we are going to discuss about the segmentation and notochord. Okay, so I'll start with what segmentation. Segmentation in the sense what body of an organism is divided externally as well as internally with a series of patterns or a series of segments with the series of repetition of at least some organs of it. That is what segmentation. What is meant by segmentation? Segmentation in the sense in some animals body is externally and internally divided into segments ಅಂತಂದಾಗಿನ ಭಾಗಗಳು, segments with a serial of repetition ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಒಂದಾಗ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಈ ರೀತಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಪೋಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಆಫ್ ಅನ್ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್. ಹಿಯರ್ 1 2 3 4 5 6 ಇವೇನಾವ these are the segments. 1 2 3 4 ಅಥವಾ ಏನದು ಸೆಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಭಾಗಗಳಾದವು. ಅನಂತರ ಸೀರಿಯಲ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ 1 2 3 4 ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ಸೀರಿಯಲ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಪಿಟೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸಮ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್ ನ ಏರಿಯಾ ಇತ್ತಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ segmentation. That is what we are going to call that as a segmentation. In the sense what in some animals body is externally and internally divided into segments with a serial of repetition of at least some organs is called as segmentation. And now next one is metabolism in the sense what the similar definition we are going to discuss here. Metabolism, it is the phenomenon ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಒಂದು ಕೃತಿ. It is a phenomenon in which an organism shows the patterns of metameric segments. Suppose these are the patterns of metameric segmentation, and it is called as a metabolism. Metabolism ಅಂತಂದಾಗ it is the phenomenon in which an organism shows the patterns of metameric segmentation. And this metabolism we are going to found in the the metabolism we are going to find in the organisms like what we are going to call that as a annelids now in nodula allin metabolism irutte. Understood? So this is about the segmentation, metabolism. Segmentation ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಬಾಡಿ ಮೇಲೆ serial segments, so that is segmentation. Here it shows the metameric segmentation, patterns of metameric segmentation. That is what we are going to call as a metamerism. And next one is we are going to study about the notochord. This is very important. Notochord in the sense it is mesodermally derived. It is mesodermally derived. Here mesodermally derived andaga. Now again you are going to remember the yesterday's class or previous video. In previous video we are discussed about diploblastic and triploblastic organisms. There I told you diploblastic organisms in the sense during the embryonic development there are two layers. What are those? One is ectoderm, outer layer, endoderm, inner layer, and mesoglia is not found there. Okay, and next, mesoglia is not differentiated. And when we are studied about the triploblastic organisms, that time during the embryonic development we are going to find three layers. One is ectoderm, external, endoderm, internal, and in between these two, ectoderm and endoderm, we are going to find the another one layer that is called as mesoderm. Understood? Now here I told you notochord. Notochord it is an organ which is going to develop from mesodermal. In the sense, whatever the innermost layer is there during the embryonic development, from that this is going to originate or this is going to derive. That's why I told you this is very important. You are going to remember in CET and NEET they can ask you a question. Okay, how, from which, what we are going to call that one as a embryonic layer the notochord is going to derive. That time you are going to write mesodermal. It has a mesodermal origin. That time he is going to ask you ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm, or what we are going to call it none of the above. That time you are going to write mesoderm. In a sense, notochord it is mesodermally derived. Mesodermally derived rod-like structure on dorsal side. Rod-like structure on dorsal side. Now here I am going to make clear you people about these sides, dorsal side and others. Before that, you what means I am going to clear you notochord. It is organ which is mesodermally derived. Mesodermally derived in the sense it is originated from the mesoderm, embryonic mesoderm layer. Understood? And rod-like structure on dorsal side. Dorsal side. Now here dorsal side in the sense what? How we are, what are the different sides we are going to study in an organism? For example, suppose here I am going to draw one diagram. Most of you people are from villages and come from the what? Farmers background. So you see this, what I have drawn here. Suppose this is bull. Now here we are going to study the four sides of this organism. What are those in the sense? The upper side, this is dorsal side. Okay, and lower side this is ventral side. Okay, and back we are going to call that one as a posterior, and next front we are going to call that one as a anterior. These are the four sides we are going to study when we are going to study about the animal kingdom. What are those? Dorsal side, ventral side, posterior, anterior. Now ಈಗ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ದಾಗ ನೋಡಿರ್ತಂದಾಗ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾಲ್ಕು ಕಾಲ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರ್ತಾವ. ನಾವು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಡೊಕ್ ನಿಂತಾಗ ಇದು ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ. ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಇರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಸೈಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾವ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಈ ಮುಂದೆ ಕಾಣೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಈ ಸೈಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ವಾಟ್ ಆಂಟೀರಿಯರ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ತಲೆ ಇರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಕಾಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಆಂಟೀರಿಯರ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಂಟೀರಿಯರ್. ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಕಡೆ ಬರೋದು ಪೋಸ್ಟೀರಿಯರ್. ಅನಂತರ ಹಿಂದೆ ಬೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬರೋದು ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಕಾಲ್ ದಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಡಾರ್ಸಲ್ ಸೈಡ್, ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಬರ್ತದ ಡಾರ್ಸಲ್ ಸೈಡ್, ಮುಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಬರ್ತದ ವೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಸೈಡ್. ಸಪೋಸ್ ನಾವ್ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊರಿ, ಆಗ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. ಮುಂದೆ ಬರೋದಪ್ಪ ಅಂದಾಗ ಆಂಟೀರಿಯರ್, ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಪೋಸ್ಟೀರಿಯರ್. ಬೆಂಡ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಡಾರ್ಸಲ್, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಭಾಗ ಏನ್ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ವೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಸೈಡ್. ನಾವ್ ಹಿಯರ್ we are studying about the notochord. Notochord ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಏನ, it is mesodermally derived rod like structure on dorsal side. Dorsal side ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ಯದ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬೆನ್ನ ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ. ಅದರ ನೀವು ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಅದೇನ್ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ, ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಬರ್ತೈತಿ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? This is about what the size. Now here, if the notochord is present in an organism, those are called as a chordates. Okay, ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೋ chordates. ನಾವು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಲಿತೀವಿ. ಆನಂತರ those organisms which doesn't have ಅಥವಾ the notochord is absent in an organisms are called as a non-chordate. Okay, ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು non-chordates ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಯಾವ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ ದಾಗ notochord ಇರ್ತೈತಿ, okay ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು chordates ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Understood? Chordates and non-chordates. Chordates and non-chordates. It is based upon the presence or absence of notochord. Presence or absence of notochord. Understood? So this is what still so far we are studied about what the basis of classification. About the basis of classification. Basis of classification, it is based upon, I told you clear cut, in spite of differences in a structure and forms of a different animals, there are fundamental features common in various individuals. Fundamental features common in various individuals. And what are those? From yesterday we are studying levels of organization. We have studied that in a previous video. Symmetry, that is also we have studied in a previous video. Then coelom, and today we have studied about the today we have studied about the segmentation. Already I told you what is segmentation and all. And then metabolism and notochord. These all are the fundamental features which are common in various individuals in spite of their different in spite of differences in the structure and forms of animals. Okay, I hope you are clear with these things. What are those in the sense? Level of organization, we have studied yesterday. What are the different levels of organization? Cellular level, tissue or tissue level, organ level, organ system level of organization we have studied. We have studied the symmetry. Again I am going to discuss in next, I will tell you in detail. But what we have studied about the basis of classification attandaga, level of organization, symmetry, coelom, segmentation, metabolism and notochord. Now we are going to study about the what next point, that is classification of animals. Okay, now we are going to study about the classification of animals. Classification of animals, what else we are going to study in the sense classification of animals. I written on the board a complete classification of animals, and now from yesterday you are having something confusion in your mind about what atandaga. Yes, in yesterday's class what I told you about cellular level of organization, examples like what platyhelminthes, porifera, coelenterata, aschelminthes, ಈ ರೀತಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೆ. ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾವಾಗ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ when we are going to study about this flow chart regarding animal classification. Okay, so ನಿನ್ನೆ ಏನು ನಾವು ಕಲಿತಿದ್ದು, that is what we are going to repeat once again. Okay, see here, now yesterday we had discussed about the what kingdom Animalia, and I told you yesterday ನೀವು video ನೋಡಿದಂದಾಗ kingdom Animalia, it contains the multicellular organisms. Understood? It contains the multicellular organisms. After that we went for the basis of classification. In basis of classification, first we have studied about the level of organization. In level of organization, what else we have studied? Cellular level of organization and tissue bar organ system level of organization. Next, what we have studied? Symmetry. In symmetry, we have studied asymmetry, we have studied the radial symmetry, we have studied the bilateral symmetry. Understood? Now, in cellular level of organization, we have studied, means I given the example sponges, that is come under the phylum Porifera. Okay, the phylum Porifera. Now, so here Animalia, multicellular level of organization, cellular level. In that we are going to find the asymmetrical organisms. There we are not going to find any coelom. And the example phylum. Phylum. What is the phylum? That is Porifera. Now, next level of organization is tissue bar, organ system level of organization. These organisms shows radial symmetry as well as bilateral symmetry. In radial symmetry, we are not going to find any coelom. ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ coelom ಇರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. Example radial symmetry ಯಾವುದಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಸಿಲೆಂಟ್ರೇಟಾ. ಸಿಲೆಂಟ್ರೇಟಾಗ್ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಹೆಸರು ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ನಿಡೇರಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬುಕ್ ನಾಗ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು. ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಮತ್ತು ಬರೆದು ತೆಗೀರಿ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಿಡೇರಿಯಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ನಾಗ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ನಿಡೇರಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಆಗು ಬಾಯ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅದೇನು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಸರ್. ನಿಡೇರಿಯಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಿಲೆಂಟ್ರೇಟಾ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ. And means Ctenophora are both the phylums which shows the radial symmetry, and they show the tissue level of organization. And next, bilateral symmetry. In bilateral symmetry, we are going to find the coeloms. Means coelom. We are going to discuss about the coelom. What are those? Atandaga acoelomates, pseudocoelomates, and coelomates. And we have discussed yesterday about these definitions. Acoelomates in the sense the organism in organisms or the organisms without body cavity. The body cavity is absent in between the body wall and gut wall. Such organisms are called as acoelomates, but those show the bilateral symmetry. Next one is pseudocoelomates. What I told you yesterday, the coelom is present in between the body wall and gut wall, but it is not what we are going to call as a mesodermally originate. Understood? What I told you yesterday, pseudocoelomates in the sense what? Body cavity is called as pseudocoelomates. It is not in the sense formed by the mesoderm. Here they are scattered in between the body wall and gut wall. That is the pseudocoelomates. In the sense false coelom. And we have studied about the coelomates, the organisms which are having the true coelom in between the body wall and gut wall. Those are called as a what? Coelomates. Here yesterday ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಈಗ acoelomates ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು? Platyhelminthes. Pseudocoelomates ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ Ascahelminthes. And next one is coelomates ದಾಗ ಏನು ಬರ್ತಾವು? Annelida, Arthropoda, Echinodermata, Mollusca, Hemichordata and Chordata. ಈಗ ಈ ಒಂದು ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ if suppose the question is to ask in a seat your name and change ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಏನಂತಂದಾಗ acoelomates ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ Platyhelminthes only. ಓಕೆ. pseudocoelomates ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್? pseudocoelomates ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ? Ascahelminthes. ಆನಂತರ coelomates ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ? Annelida ಮುಂದೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದಾಗವ coelomates. They are having the true coelom. In the sense, this chart we are going to remember when we are going to study further in detail about the phylum Porifera, the general characters of Porifera we are going to study in particular chapter. We are going to study the general characters of Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Ascahelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Echinodermata, Mollusca, Hemichordata and Chordata. ಇವತ್ತರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತ ಇವತ್ತು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇವರ ಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳು ಬರೀತೀವಿ ನಾವು. when we are going to write the character of each phylum, that time we are going to consider once again these all the things in the sense level of organization we used to write there, we used to write the symmetry, we used to write the coelom, then we used to write ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಏನು ಬರೀತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅದನ್ನು ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ದಿ ಫಿಸಿಯಾಲಜಿ in the sense digestive system ಹೆಂಗಿರ್ತೈತಿ, ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಹೆಂಗಿರ್ತೈತಿ ಅಥವಾ ಅವು ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವು, ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲೇಟರಿ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಅಬ್ಸೆಂಟ್, reproduction whether they are going to reproduce sexually or asexually, and whether the development is direct or indirect. These all the things we are going to study in a characteristics of all these phylums, and at last we are going to study the examples of porifera, and there in your book they are mentioned examples in such a way that ಅವರು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾರಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ದ ಕಾಮನ್ ನೇಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಆನಂತರ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ನೇಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೋ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ scientific name as well as the common name of each phylum's examples, and this is very important for your NEET and CET. Once again I am telling you here,